Hi, everyone. It's Friday, and it's also the last day of July. Thanks for being here on the 31st, which has been drier than possibly what you may have been expecting per our forecast for the past couple of days. Well, I'll update the rest of it for you in just a few moments as well as we look to the weekend and the week ahead. I'm not trying to rush things. I know the weekend is here. Let's slow everything down and enjoy it just as much as possible. So, when I was with you last evening, if you were here, hopefully you were, I was in the middle of reporting one new case of COVID-19 for McGoffin County yesterday. Before that report was essentially over, we received word of a second. There was another case last evening after I left you, and more positive cases again today. We'll take a look at those numbers. We'll break down some of those numbers for you and have a report on that in just a few moments. Also, a McGoffin County man would have been life flighted for severe injuries he sustained in an ATV accident late last night and is still in the hospital. We'll give you as much information as possible on that front in just a few moments. I've got a calendar announcement or two and some special announcements, I think, and a lot of other news and information. So let's get ready to wrap up this week of programming here in what's left of the half hour. So I was also telling you last night that I, among about 98 or 99 other households or people, I'm not sure how they break it down, was to be affected by a scheduled power outage based on cutting limbs off of right-of-ways in the Dixie area. And that was to be at 8 o'clock this morning until noon. Well, I got it bright and early because they were going to be right outside my home for one of the areas. And there was not much happening around 9:30 or so. Power was still on, if you may have noticed. No update from the power company, but I did learn from the crews who were to do the trimming that due to the storms that rolled through last night, the power company that was representatives that were to be there to disconnect and turn off the electric so they could cut those limbs out of the lines. Well, they could not make it as they were called out to repair damages done from a series of storms elsewhere last night. So that's why the power stayed on if you were expecting it to go off. I have no information or no new date set as far as I know as of right now in regards to when they will attempt to do it again. But the weather last night is a result of the power not being off, those tree limbs not being cut, and I'll have an update for you as soon as I get one. A flash flood watch in effect till tomorrow morning. That's one part of the weather that we'll talk about in just a few moments. I confirmed through one of our editors at the Big Sandy News last evening and again today that the FBI indeed was conducting an investigation in Lawrence County as of yesterday. Specifically, they were at the office of Lawrence County Attorney Mike Hogan. Now, this follows up an earlier report in which I spoke of weeks ago when the state auditor's office found that the Lawrence County attorney had given his wife bonuses, his wife, a legal secretary in the office, of over $125,000 over the past 12 to 24 months. The audit discovered, for the state auditor's office, that Lawrence County attorney Mike Hogan actually gave about $135,000 in bonuses to staff members, but the majority, almost all of that, going to his wife from July the 1st of 2017 through June the 30th of 2019, and that he took those funds out of the delinquent tax fees. The audit also says that he used public funds to pay for an advertisement for his personal private practice as well. The FBI, of course, wouldn't say what they were doing there yesterday, executing a warrant or not. All we know is that they were there following up on the investigation. An earlier statement from Attorney Hogan says that the bonus payments to her, quote, being her wife, quote, were honest pay for honest work that clearly benefited the public in the form of compensating an exemplary employee who goes above and beyond to serve the office and the people of Lawrence County at a consistently high level. We'll let you know should the FBI report anything in the near or distant future. ARH made an announcement late last evening that they're having to roll back their procedures as well because of a steady increase of COVID-19 cases, and out of an abundance of caution and to make everyone feel safe and be safe in their facilities, they are limiting visitors again. They're also cutting back some other services. As of today, at all ARH facilities, no regular visitation in their hospital will be permitted. Two people, if a patient is at their end of life, will be allowed to visit. For children 17 and younger, they can have one adult. Maternity patients can also have a designated support person for labor, delivery, and other associated events. All visitors 18 and older should arrive wearing a mask, and they have to wear that mask the entire time they're in the facility. They must be screened before they can get in, and once a person goes in to visit someone in their room, they have to stay there, and if they come out of the patient's room, they have to go ahead and leave the hospital and can't return for the day. And they are suggesting and encouraging everyone to use FaceTime and Skype and any other means and method they can to visit electronically instead of coming physically to the hospital. We'll talk COVID locally and statewide after these messages. First, it was pennies, and now it's everything. Because of the pandemic, most banks haven't been able to order their weekly amount of coins for weeks. And without all of the fundraisers and activities going on, a lot of that change that would normally be in circulation isn't. So the Sayersville National Bank says now is a great time to help out and cash in. Bring your coins to either drive-through, or if you've got a lot, call ahead to give them to someone at the door and help your local businesses. And remember, you can pay all of your bills and practically do all of your banking on their mobile and online services, and all inside and lobby services are still available by appointment at Sayersville National Bank. Come to Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville and get your prescriptions filled, your over-the-counter medications, and immune system boosters, all from the safety and comfort of your own vehicle, either in their drive-thru or with their new curbside service. You can also call ahead or just download the MyGNP app, that's Good Neighbor Pharmacy, and refill and manage your prescriptions right from your device, helping you and yours stay healthy and safe. Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville, 349-4400. All Pro understands that we are all just trying to make it through these most difficult of times, and they want you to know that they're here to help with any repairs or projects that you need done. Big or small, doesn't matter. They've got 0% financing for 18 months and long-term financing if you need it. If you need anything from a new gutter to a new house or a new garage, call All Pro Gutter Works and Construction, 349-9999. Oh, it's what a lot of you have been waiting for. They're back, but only for a limited time. Loaded potato wedges at your Sayersville Lee's famous recipe. That's right, our famous hand-cut homemade potato wedges smothered in cheddar cheese, real crispy bacon, topped with either sour cream or ranch, your choice. And they're still only $2.49 with tax. Get them while you can at your Sayersville Lee's. A couple of calls of emergency last evening. One was a structure fire at the junction of Burning Fork, Route 1888 and 114 on the Prestonsburg or Trestle end, if you will, a series of trailers which sits there, one of which caught on fire. No one believed to have been residing in that trailer at the time, or at least no one was around at the time of the arrival of fire personnel. It was a fire which had, it was a structure rather, which had no electrical hookup, but also had an extension cord running from another nearby structure. It caused extensive damage, and that was under investigation by the Sayersville Fire Department. The South Magoffin Fire Department, as well as the Magoffin County Rescue Squad and Lifeguard Ambulance Service, all responded to a serious ATV accident last night on Brushy Loop off of Route 7. First responders sent me a couple of still frames. These you see just as they arrived on scene last night. It was actually there that they found Tim Joseph, the chief of the South Magoffin Fire Department, already on scene. They had confirmed that a man had went over the hill some 150 feet up behind his home off of Brushy Loop. From what I understand, he was navigating, coming down the hill towards his home, a slippery trail, when one of the trees that he was going between caught part of the ATV, a standard four-wheeler he was riding, threw him off over the hill, the vehicle landing on top of him. Rescue crews responded with their own ATVs and UTVs. He was brought back up the hill in a Stokes basket and was seriously injured. Severe back and chest injuries. Would have been life-flighted, they tell me, from the scene, but weather would not permit. He was taken by ambulance on ground to the Highlands ARH Medical Center. I'm told from there the 28-year-old was taken to a Tennessee facility for the severity of his injuries. Your local daily COVID-19 update detailing new cases last evening and today in just a few moments, but without a press conference and a press release from the governor's office today. He says Kentucky now stands at 30,151 positive cases. He did so announcing 778 new cases today. 23 of those were children under the age of 5. The good news, the positivity rate has gone down slightly again for the third day in a row. But he says we still have too many, and we need to do everything we can to try to decrease those. He says they're also seeing an increase of patients in ICUs across the Commonwealth as well. The governor also as well announced 4 new deaths today, meaning 735 Kentuckians have lost their lives as a result of COVID-19. The deaths today included a 63-year-old from Perry County. The positivity rate still high and over 5%, but down just a bit to 5.43% as of this evening. Let's go to the calendar right now, and then we'll come back for local COVID information. Your calendar, nightly, brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau. From our folks and friends at Water Into Wine, the food pantry over at the Lakefront Church of God, they are, of course, distributing the Wednesdays of this month, 9 till 11:30. That means they will be there next week for their regular pantry day. They also have to stress that they can only give out 2 boxes per vehicle, and that their senior commodity day is the third Thursday of each month from 12:30 till 3 or till all the boxes are gone. If you have any questions, call them at 244-4818. 244-4818. And you know how it works. Call me, or you don't have to call me if you have any questions about the calendar. Call me, but you just have to send me the announcements, birthdays and anniversaries too, and I'll put them on. You know, that's how it works. Funeral service announcements this Friday as we go on to other announcements are provided by the McGoffin County Funeral Home, and arrangements are still incomplete at this hour, I'm told, for Tiffany Renee Coffey Elam, 49, of Sagersville. She passed away Wednesday of this week at the Kentucky River Medical Center in Jackson. The daughter of the late Gary Marcus Coffey and Gail Coffey. Survivors also include, besides her mother, her companion John Heron, son Houston Elam, daughter Darianne Wallace, and 2 brothers here locally, Marty and TJ Coffey, and 2 grandchildren. Memorial services to be announced at a later date. 67-year-old Ruth Fletcher of Sagersville, I'm told, passed away today at her home, the wife of Ricky Fletcher. Arrangements incomplete, but to be announced soon by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. And our last announcement tonight comes in loving memory of Alan R. Collett, Bub Collett, on what would have been his birthday on this coming August the 2nd. Happy heavenly birthday with love and remembrance from his mother, father, Braden, Carla, Katie, Emily, Kenley, Tim, and Brittany. Car accidents don't stop. Accidents at work don't stop. Disability and SSI cases don't stop. Your legal needs and concerns don't stop for the coronavirus, and neither does McFarland and Tinker. They are open, able to schedule appointments per CDC guidelines, and always available for telephone and video conferences. Please, be safe, be smart, stay home, and don't let your legal needs fall victim to the pandemic. Call McFarland and Tinker and let them take care of them for you. Summer heat and no AC make for a miserable drive, but don't sweat it. Call Black Smoke Performance in Sagersville for inspection, diagnostics, and repair by qualified technicians with the latest technology and equipment. Don't suffer in the summer heat. Get your air conditioning fixed today at Black Smoke Performance.
We let out a Kingsport in the middle of the night. We was playing country music, treating people right. When the amplifiers are cooled down, the guitar's put away. I put that Vic in the hammer lane, and this is what I'll say. Well, that road is long, and my eyes are wide. Playing country music, treating people right.
Tire in Staffordsville is now a proud partner of Rough Country for all of your suspension and lift kit applications. And you can always go to conleytire.net to get the latest offers. Like right now, $100 when you buy a set of Mickey Thompsons, $100 on a set of Continentals, and many, many more summer deals, including $35 computer diagnostics. That's Conley Tire in Staffordsville, 297-2424. Just a few moments before the show was to begin last night, I was preparing to tell you about one positive case of the coronavirus for the day to be reported here in McGoffin County. But just about 5 till 6, that changed when I received word of a second positive case that we would report last night. And then shortly after I left you last evening, right around 7 o'clock, I actually received word of the third positive case to be reported yesterday for McGoffin County. And those with more positive cases being reported today are all leading officials who say that they are to the point of enforcing the mask mandate with both citations and fines.
Yeah, we got 3 cases yesterday, 3 new cases. 2 of those are from the federal prison, and they're not really related as being, the 2 officers are not related as far as working together, nothing like that. It's just 2 separate cases from the prison that we got. That was the 2 in the afternoon. And the other morning case was related to one of the officers, or one of the cases there. So he had one related case.
Any word on how either one of the 2 prison cases came to be as far as any of their routines or measures or anything of that nature?
No, not really. They just said that they have prisoners coming in from Georgia and other places pretty, I guess, frequently. And I really don't know the measures they use over there, the safety measures. They're federal. They don't report to the state. We don't get none of their numbers. I guess if they have any inmates that do are positive, we don't have no numbers on that. Just the only thing we deal with is the officers that work there and live in the county.
So what do you have to report today?
We've got 2 new cases today, and both are related back to one of the officers there in those cases. So with the 2 new cases, I think one's showing minor symptoms, and both of them are showing minor symptoms. And the 2 cases yesterday from the prison were both showing, still showing symptoms.
So let's back up just again. The 3 cases yesterday, the 1 case day before yesterday. Let's use those as an example. How many people have had contact and had to be quarantined just based on those 4 cases?
45.
45.
45. We contacted 45 people and isolated and told them to be in isolation. Now within that 45, you got like maybe have some families, like you got a mother, father, maybe a child or 2 children like that, because some of these cases were related to parties, where one of the individuals was at a party, like a birthday party for a child, and they were multiple kids and parents there. So that's why those numbers. But we average about 10 to 12 contacts per case on these cases. It's been pretty consistent with that.
Any, and not speaking of any case in particular, Pete, but any cases to date been where folks asymptomatic, didn't know it, actually had symptoms and just weren't wearing a mask? Or, I mean, to what degree are we seeing this happen?
Well, the two officers in their cases both had symptoms, and kind of really didn't even think they had anything as far as the COVID. They just one had his symptoms, and he even mentioned that he went to a party and the people were saying, "Boy, you got a pretty bad cough," and he said, "Well, I guess I do," but it really didn't relate it to the COVID. And one of them doesn't wear a mask. He doesn't believe in the mask, so he's not been wearing a mask. So every individual has his own preference of what they're doing. But the people that are not wearing masks, and like today, we've got 2 cases related to one of them that wasn't wearing a mask when he contacted these individuals. So that's how it spreads.
You mentioned earlier, just before we started the interview, that you've been seeking some information from the state in regards to trying to enforce the wearing of masks here in local businesses. What can you tell me?
Yeah, they sent us out some official, tickets today They've got one sheet they sent us out that we can go in and evaluate the business. If they've got, we can say, we can check, make a check like, are the employees wearing masks? Are the people in there wearing masks? And how many's not wearing masks? Do they have the proper signage on the outside saying, do not come in without a mask? We will not serve you without a mask. We've got a checklist on that. Then we've got another one that we cite the people. We can cite the businesses or cite people that's in there without a mask. And it does have the fines on there. And what we do with those tickets is we send them into the state, and I guess they will enforce that. And it also has a sheet that we'll give all the businesses about the guidelines, again, about guidelines that the employees have to wear a mask, that they can be held liable if not wearing a mask, that they can be fined if they serve people without a mask, and that they can give it to the people that come in, saying that these people can also be fined or cited or fined for not wearing a mask in the business.
Is that something that you plan on enforcing?
Yes. I've already made one phone call today. I just got the paperwork today, but I've had 3 complaints on one business, not in the city of Sayersville, but outside the city. I've just kind of made a phone call and told them that if they're not wearing masks the rest of the day or tomorrow, somebody will be checking, and we will cite them on Monday. We want to start doing it. We want to start writing the citations, and I really feel that it's going to be upon the business to really to enforce the people not coming in without a mask. They're just going to have to ask them to wear a mask, and if they don't serve them, or don't let them buy anything. And that's going to be the way we're going to handle it. I don't want to be hard, but as you know, 14 days ago we had 7 cases. Today we have 22 cases. That's almost a case and a half. We're having a case a day now, where we weren't hardly having any cases. So it tells me that we're getting more and more, and a lot of these cases are directly related to not wearing masks. And so the proof's in the pudding. There it is. And it's going to. I feel it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
Now, before I go any further, very similar to last night's programming, just while you were watching that interview, I just received a message of another confirmed case today, in addition to the ones that Shepard was just speaking of. If you'll give me just a few moments, I'll take a quick break, and we'll come back and I'll share with you what I can gather on that. But here's the numbers that I wanted to focus on tonight. Going back to July the 17th here in Magoffin County, we had 7 total cases of the coronavirus. On today's date, 2 weeks later, on the 31st, we've got a total of 22 cases. So we're averaging a little more than 1 case a day at the current rate. But that, of course, has seen, over the past couple of days, we have seen multiple cases being reported in a day. And if you take, for example, the 4 cases that were reported yesterday and day before, for example, as Shepard said, those 4 cases resulted in 45 people being contacted about direct exposure. It's unknown as of right now how many of those, if any, will test positive, but it stands to reason that maybe some, maybe several will. And if you look at all 22 positive cases, that would mean, going at the same ratio, that over 260 people have been contacted and thus should have been quarantined as a result of the 22 cases that Magoffin County has seen thus far. And if you look at Kentucky's mortality rate, or actually the nation's mortality rate right now, at 3.4%, that means once Magoffin County gets another 8 confirmed cases for a total of 30, that we may very likely lose one of our residents to the coronavirus at a 3.4% mortality rate. Quick break, 30, 60 seconds here, and I'll come back and tell you what I can about this most recent case. The seasonal shop is open, and they're still doing curbside pickup, so you can call and place orders, and they'll still bring them out to you. And inside, you'll find all new merchandise throughout the entire store, all new spring and summer women's clothing from Charlie Page and Mud Pie, accessories, jewelry, shoes, and bags too, casual outfits for everyday or special occasion outfits and dresses. And if you've been home a lot and really want to freshen up your decor, they have so much to choose from, and they're happy to give you any fresh ideas that you might need. And just in, a large selection of Simply Southern and Candleberry at Fraser's Prater Drugs seasonal shop in downtown Salyersville. All right, so I was just able to message with Public Health Director and Mayor Pete Shepard, and he did confirm that, yes, we just had another, just a few moments again, right before the 6 o'clock hour, another confirmed case of the coronavirus here in McGoffin County, which brings today's numbers, like yesterday, to another 3 total for the day. And this case today, actually all 3 cases now reported today, the 2 that we just spoke of a moment ago, this new one that just was reported a few minutes ago, all 3 are actually related to one of the positive cases that was reported on yesterday. I do not know if this third individual that was reported today just a few moments ago is asymptomatic or symptomatic or anything of that nature. Just enough time to confirm the third case for today, and that all 3 cases, again, are related to one of the cases from yesterday. Lastly, here's your weather forecast per your Licking Valley RECC Outlook, which has us still looking out for some more showers and storms throughout parts of, at least, your weekend. First, let's take a look at what's getting pretty close. We've seen mostly a dry day. That's not going to be our evening. Yeah, that big mass of green and yellow and red. A lot of it headed in the direction of the viewing area, and we'll be here relatively soon. Showers and some storms, as you can see, in store for the rest of this evening, at least some of it, and for your Saturday as well. So with that in mind, a low of 69 degrees tonight, mostly cloudy skies continuing. We might pick up another quarter of an inch on average. But if you get into one of those heavy downpours or thunderstorms, look for possibly more. Tomorrow, on your Saturday, we'll see mostly cloudy skies continue. Daytime highs are going to hit about the mid-80s at 85 tomorrow. Winds, expect them out of the south, southwest, anywhere from 5 to 6 on average, up to 15 miles per hour. And then maybe another quarter of an inch of rainfall on average during the day tomorrow, another quarter of an inch tomorrow night, and any showers or storms could put down a little more than that, or maybe a lot more than that. So keep your eye on the situation, which will start to change by the latter half of your weekend. Sunday looks a little better. The sun makes more of a return. Daytime highs right around 80, 81, and only about a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly after 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon. So partly sunny, 30% chance of showers and storms, low 80s for the latter half of your weekend. Not too bad. And that's going to be pretty much summing it up for Monday, as you saw, with right around 83, Tuesday 81, Wednesday 81, 82, 82, all the way through this time next week with mostly sunny skies. Pretty much all of next week, right around 81, 82 degrees, and we're going to have a lingering chance of some showers and a few storms pretty much each and every day, anywhere from 20 to 30 to 50%. And that's it for tonight. I hope you have a wonderful, relaxing, and safe weekend, and I hope to see you back here next Monday for the next edition, the first edition of August, for your news today. Good night, and thanks for watching as always.